Hi everyone, a really quick #Friday Sews from me today. So let's get cracking. I've had a few days this week to make a few things, so I've taken the opportunity to make a couple of garments for my mum. My 89-year-old mum said that she wanted to replace several pairs of trousers that she had in her wardrobe, and she'd already bought the fabric. But because she's been a little poorly lately and she's a bit unsteady on her feet and she's only partially sighted, I said I'd make the trousers for her. I've made her a bonus garment this week. I've also made her a skirt. So I'll just show you what I've made for her. Now, I don't have any photographs of Mum wearing these because I'm going to visit her tomorrow and take up the garments I've made. So I'll try and get a photograph of her tomorrow, but at the moment I don't have one. The garments I've made for her are, I've made another pair of Pattern Emporium urban pants for her. They're the tapered version. I've made these in black scuba. They're really difficult to see, aren't they, on the camera? They do have pockets, and they are, oops, they do work. Yeah, so they've got darts in the back to give a bit more shape, which you might be able to see. Like I said, there's pockets in the front, which I've top stitched and understitched as well to keep them in place. So that's somewhere for Mum to put her mobile phone, a tissue or anything she likes. So that's the trousers I made for her. And out of the piece of fabric that was left, I have made a Rebecca Page, or it's now called you.make, Stevie skirt for her. It's again got yoga waistband on there, and it's kind of, if I take it off the hanger, it's an A-line kind of skirt. It's quite drapey though, and it's flippy. It's nice and drapey, and she can wear that with leggings in the house, and that will keep her nice and warm over the winter months. The fabric is from Tia Night Fabrics. It's the black scuba crepe, and it cost £4.99 a metre. I had 2 metres of it sent to myself, and out of those 2 metres I've made my mum a pair of trousers and a skirt, and I think that's really good value for money. My new favourite pattern company, STY Ark, had a 25% off sale on their tops patterns during the week. So of course I had to buy a few patterns, didn't I? These are all obviously for my up and coming autumn and winter wardrobe. I bought, oops, the Tegan top. I was particularly drawn to these grown on sleeves again. I seem to have a bit of an obsession with tops with grown on sleeves at the moment, so I bought that. The Preston knit sweater. There we go. It's a nice raglan sleeve sweater here. I think it's got darts in the top of the sleeve to give it some shaping. I thought that would look really good in some French terry that I have in my stash. I have the Josie hoodie. I think if I made this, I would change the hem to make it straighter. Maybe put a band on the bottom rather than the draw cord at the bottom there, the pattern suggests. But I really, really like this hood. I think it's brilliant. I really like that style. And the last one I bought is the Esme designer top. I really like the collar on this, but I also like the fact that you can have it with a collar or without a collar. And again, I think this would look great in some of the French terry I have in my stash. So I think they are for lovely patterns, and I will be using them, and you will see them hopefully made up very soon. If you watched my previous video, the video from last week, you will recognise the top I'm wearing and the cardigan I'm wearing, because I had finished them off last week and I was really pleased with them. I'm actually wearing them today. They are so comfortable. I am over the moon with the way they've worked out. And I'm now going to do a quick review of the Oasis top from Sinclair Patterns, which is the top I'm wearing at the moment. You months ago, I filmed a video looking at all the indie patterns that you could use to recreate New Look 6217. And this pattern didn't actually feature in that list at all because I hadn't seen it on the Sinclair Patterns website. It's quite easy to pass this pattern over because the picture on the website is of a dress and it doesn't show the top on the thumbnail. And when I looked more closely at the pattern and the pattern details on the website, I realised that the Oasis was also a top as well as a dress that had all the features of New Look 6217. Now, for full disclosure, I was gifted this pattern as well as the cachet tee from Sinclair Patterns in order to do a review. But this review is totally honest and is not biased whatsoever. So yeah, when I found that the Oasis pattern was also a top, I'll show you here. I don't know if you can see that, it's a bit of glare. There's a top and a couple of dresses here where the top is used as the bodice and it's cut on the bias to attach a pleated skirt. But this version really caught my eye because, like I said, I'm obsessed with this style of top at the moment. I had already made the Maria Denmark Kirsten top from black cotton lycra and thought that I'd do a comparison of the Oasis and the Kirsten tee to see which one I preferred. I have worn both tops and I can now say, having worn the two of them, that this is the absolute winner. I'll just take my cardigan off and show you all the details. There we go. It's I've done this in white cotton lycra. The fabric is from Tiernite Fabrics. The pattern has a grown-on sleeve, as you can see. It has a shaped shoulder seam that you can't really see in wear, but you can see when you're actually making it up. The neckband is bound, and so are the armhole openings, and the top is just hemmed at the bottom. The sizes for the Oasis top range from US 0 to US 30, which is a bust of 31.5 inches to 59.8 inches, or 80 centimetres to 152 centimetres, and the hips are from 33.9 inches to 63 inches, and that's 86 centimetres to 160 centimetres. So the sizes are quite nice and inclusive for this pattern. Now, rather than giving the finished measurements for each size, what Sinclair Patterns tend to do is give you the finished measurements as a kind of a diagram. So from the pattern, it tells me that the bust has a negative size, a negative measurement of 4 centimetres. Oops. So that means that the bust is 4 centimetres smaller than the bust size in the measurement chart. The waist for the top is plus 10 centimetres, so it's 10 centimetres bigger than the sizing guide or the size measurement chart, and the hips is equal to the size measurement. Now, I think that gives me a really good idea of how the garment was going to fit. So I printed and cut a US size 12, which is a bust of 39.4, a waist of 33 and hips 42.5. We'll pop in a photograph of me wearing the top so you can see the fit of it, but it fits absolutely beautifully. It fits nice and sort of snugly, it's not too loose, it's not too tight, and it really fits me well, and it's perfect for how I prefer to wear my tops. Sinclair Patterns also offer an option of heights as well for their patterns. There's petite, regular and tall. I always choose the petite because I'm 5'2", used under a metre of fabric to make this top, and I made it in about an afternoon, I think. And that includes all the pressing, cutting, etc. I'm so pleased with it. I want to make one in every single colour. So the question, would I make it again, is a resounding yes. Between this pattern and Maria Denmark Kirsten T, this one for me is the outstanding winner. I like the shape of the shoulders. I like the neckline. There are two necklines, by the way, a regular and a scoop. I just did the regular neckline, and it's not really high up and it's not really low, and it just gives it enough covering on the chest in the cooler months. And again, this kind of garment is nice when it's a little bit cooler, because it's not like wearing a vest top where you've got your shoulders exposed. Your shoulders are covered. So I really like the type of garment, and I absolutely love this pattern. So what's in store next week? I hope to be sewing a few more garments for my autumn and winter wardrobe. I've made a few bottoms, haven't I? So maybe I'm going to move on to tops. I do have another couple of skirts I'd like to make for myself. I'd like to make a nice patterned skirt cut on the bias. I'd like to make a shorter black skirt to replace the one I'm now wearing during the day when I'm working. I'd like to make a grey skirt, a longer grey skirt, but tops are what I really want to make. So maybe when my skirts are all out of the way, I'll concentrate on the tops. I think the tops will be quick and easy to make because I can just almost batch make them, can't I? So hopefully they'll be quick and I'll have some made up for when it gets a lot cooler. So that's it from me this week. Can I just say a big thank you to Jen from Day in Jen's Sewing Room for setting up the hashtag Friday Sews community, because it brings us all together and we can talk about all things sewing. So until next time, happy sewing! Bye!